Today we have Samyang buldak tteokbokki. Okay, I'm aware that this is not a noodle. For the first time on this channel, I'm going to be reviewing tteokbokki, but I feel like because it's Samyang and because it's buldak, that's kind of fair game for this channel. I've never had this before. This is the first time I'll be trying instant tteokbokki. I have made tteokbokki in the past and I absolutely love it. So I do have high expectations. Also, this costs £2.85, which is pretty pricey. It's similar to the other Samyang convenience bowls like Carbo Bowl. You do pay for the convenience, but it is quite pricey. But you can kind of rest assured with Samyang that the quality is going to be excellent. So that's what I'm expecting with this. I'm also expecting, because it's buldak, that it's going to be extremely spicy. You can see this guy crying on the front. I'm really expecting it to be very, very, very spicy indeed. But other than that, I'm really excited to give this a go and try something that isn't noodles for a change. Okay, before I start looking at the packaging, I'm actually going to take the plastic off. This is something that I learned makes it look a little bit better. Oh yes, this just looks really, really smart. Really high quality packaging as always from Samyang. I think the color scheme is in keeping with buldak. Really, really smart graphics on it. Really easy to follow as well in terms of the instructions. Overall, I think this is really appealing to me anyway in terms of packaging. I noticed that this is a microwave version, which again is a first for this channel. Put the rice cake and sauce into the bowl, pour hot water up to the line marked inside, microwave on high for 2.5 minutes with the lid closed, stir well, and it is ready to serve. Okay, that's quite a bit different to what I'm used to, hot water and microwave, but I guess tteokbokki from my experience does take a while to cook. You kind of have to boil it for a while in your gochujang and sugar and soy and things like that. So that's probably why it requires hot water and microwaving. But I feel like that's quite a quick cook time. This should still feel quite convenient when cooking, so excited for that. The other thing then is the ingredients. Let's have a look at these. So you've got rice cakes, which are fairly standard, mostly just rice. And then the sauce, sugar, red pepper paste, chicken flavor, and then we've got garlic, onion, salt, soybean paste with soy sauce, red pepper powder, curry powder, paprika extract, and black pepper powder. So all of those flavors, all of those ingredients are very reminiscent of buldak, certainly with the really spicy red pepper paste. And also I think it's quite in keeping with what I would expect from tteokbokki, given that there's quite a bit of sugar in the sauce as well. I'm quite excited for this. I feel like this is going to work well, but hopefully I haven't set my expectations too high, only for them to be dashed later on. Okay, I don't think there's anything else on here that I need to worry about in terms of packaging. I feel like it's all self-explanatory. Okay, that comes off as well. Okay, I think I'm ready to go inside and see what's in there. Okay. Wow, I have to say, that looks amazing. That looks really proper, really real, like you would expect to pick up from the fridge in the supermarket. That looks amazing, and I love the packaging on this. That is fantastic. And then we've got sauce. Really, really simple. I think there's really nothing else for me to do other than just to put it all together and then cook it. I'm excited to open this up. Honestly, that packaging is amazing. I really love that. Do not eat. Okay. Looks pretty typical of what you might expect. Okay, and we've got sauce. So rather than just putting this into a separate container, I'm just going to put it straight on. I'm going to try and tear from this as well, because this is something that I like to do now. Oh, if you could smell this. I'm just going to give that a smell. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely different to the normal buldak sauce. When you're making tteokbokki, you're supposed to use gochujang, which is a fermented red bean paste, and you can really smell the fermentiness of this. It's almost it's a bit like Marmite, actually. A bit of that sort of funky, yeasty smell. But all of the other stuff that you expect from buldak, the sort of chickeny, oniony, chili, all of those rich, savory smells are all there. My mouth is watering uncontrollably, I have to say. This smells unbelievable. I'm really excited to give that a go. Okay, so that's really it. Pretty easy to assemble. There is a fill line that's really obvious for me to see. So I'm just gonna go and boil some water and then we can start preparing this. Okay, I'm just going to add some hot water up to the line. Whoops, overshot that a little bit. I'm sure that will be fine. Just going to give this a quick mix. Oh, that smells even better now. The smells are just filling the room. Okay, I'm going to microwave that now. I'll be back in 2.5 minutes. Right. So, I think this has exploded open a little bit, or boiled over. Now, the instructions say 2.5 minutes on 1000 watts. They do say with the lid closed, and that's what I did, but it seems to have sort of burst open and spilt a little bit down the edges, which is a little bit disappointing, I have to say. But let's have a look and see. Wow. This was what I was really interested to see. Can you see how the sauce is really thickened? I think what happens when you cook tteokbokki, the sauce starts off really thin, but then the sort of starchiness comes out of the rice and thickens the sauce. So it gets that sort of really rich, gooey consistency. Just turns it into a really nice thick soup. And I think that's what's happened here. That looks amazing. I'll do my noodle pulls here with some tteokbokki instead. Wow, it really does look so appetizing. I cannot wait to give this a go. I'm going to start by smelling it. Okay, right. Okay, that's interesting. There's no one aroma that's jumping out to me. It almost smelled a little bit tomatoey whenever I first smelt it. There is something a little bit acidic on the nose, and I think that might be the sort of fermentiness of that sauce. Yeah, it definitely smells like there's spices in there, but there's no one particular thing that's jumping out at all. Not even red pepper or chili, which is quite unusual. Just does smell a little bit like soy sauce and a little bit fermenty, basically. But the look of those tteokbokki is exactly what I'm after. They look amazing. Okay, I'm going to start by just tasting the sauce. Now, I think it probably is a little bit unusual not to put cheese on this. I think it's fairly typical to put cheese on, but I like to do everything to the recipe on this channel. Certainly when I make tteokbokki at home, I would put cheese on it every time. But let me just taste some of this sauce. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my goodness. Really searingly intense chili. My mouth is immediately on fire, but there is a real sweetness there. I think sugar might have been the first thing I tasted before even the chili. Yeah, you can definitely taste the gochujang in there. It is definitely different to the normal buldak. Very fermenty, really nice. Wow. It's salty, it's red peppery, it's chili, it's fermenty. It's so warming, really nice. And actually, by this point, when eating normal buldak noodles, I would probably have to take a wee break. It would be that spicy. For some reason, I feel like this might not be as spicy. I think they've toned it down a bit. That is so rich and savory, delicious. And the consistency of that sauce, you know, considering that it was just water a minute ago, it's really thickened and it is so nice. Okay, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to try one of these and just to see how hopefully chewy and delicious this is going to be. Okay, first impression, texture's good, really good. I'm just going to try another bite. Wow, so chewy, so hard to describe. If you've never had tteokbokki before, definitely go and try it if you haven't had it before. Especially if you like mochis or if you like really chewy things. Really nice. I have to say, it really does taste authentic. It tastes to me more like normal tteokbokki than it does buldak. Wow. I remember walking past these on the shelf before I'd ever tried tteokbokki. And I remember thinking, oh, if I'm going to try tteokbokki, I'll make it properly. I'll do it myself. You know, the buldak one will just be a play on their buldak noodles and it won't be authentic, was what I thought. But really, it is so authentic. I mean, yes, it is very spicy, but you could recreate that with tteokbokki by adding a load of chili. That's really the only difference. The flavors are really on point. The texture is brilliant. They are so chewy. It is really nice to eat. And the flavor is really nice. It's like red pepper, sugar, gochujang fermenty flavors, soy, chili. Really nice. And actually there's a lot of sauce at the bottom here because I drank quite a lot at the start. It's getting even more flavorful at the end. So chewy. If you like chewy food, honestly, you have to try this. If you've never had tteokbokki before, go out and get it. My mouth is on fire, I have to say. It is burning and I am salivating the whole time, but it's so delicious. Okay, I'm just gonna drink the rest of that sauce straight from the bowl. Really looking forward to this. Wow. That last sip at the end was just concentrated, delicious tteokbokki flavor. Really, really spicy, really delicious. I feel like my mouth needs to calm down a bit because it really is on fire, I have to say. I am struggling to speak. I might need to take a little break to let my mouth calm down. So spicy. Oh, I made the mistake of assuming that it wasn't that spicy at the start, but it really caught up with me at the end, I have to say. Okay, let's have a bit of a rundown then of this. It cost £2.85. Somewhat convenient in that you just had to really add water and then microwave it. Slightly less convenient, I think, than the noodle ones where you just add water, drain it, put ingredients in and then eat. To have to put hot water on and microwave it, feel like that's slightly less convenient, even though in a 7-Eleven or something like that, it would be just as fine. It'd be absolutely no problem at all to do that. I feel as though that's slightly less convenient, but it really, really was so nice and so authentic. I really didn't expect the quality of the tteokbokki themselves to be that good. Those rice cakes are just so chewy, so perfect. Not overcooked, not undercooked. The sauce was an amazing consistency. Everything about that was brilliant. The flavors were on point. Gochujang, sugar, soy, red pepper, chili, all of those flavors were coming through. The only reason I could tell it was buldak is because my mouth is completely on fire now. I am crying like this guy here. Just chili overload. But other than that, as an overall experience, I think that was absolutely brilliant. So I have to have a little think about the scores for this, and I have to try and work out whether this is something that I would recommend, whether it's something I would dream about, whether it's something I would be happy to eat every single day for the rest of my life. And I think coming into this today, my expectations were high, but I was expecting to sort of come away and be like, I would definitely recommend them, but don't know if I would miss them if they weren't there, or I would recommend them. I would maybe dream about them and get them from time to time. But I have to say, now that I've tried them, they really exceeded my expectations. And if I was offered that every single day for the rest of my life, I feel like I would say yes. I think, yes, it was slightly less convenient for the high price point than the other bowls, but the quality really made up for it. You can't get anything else like that. That is just really, really, really great quality time and time again from Samyang. And I would have absolute confidence that if I lifted this up off the shelf again, I would have a very similar experience. And I do love tteokbokki, so I feel like for me, overall, this would be a 5 out of 5, just like the fire noodle. And I'm quite pleased to recommend this, I have to say. So let me know if you agree or if you disagree, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.